Hello, everyone. Yeah, I started sneezing again. I know. I guess for some people it would be a problem, but I kind of like to sneeze. It's refreshing to sneeze. Maybe I got some stuff in my brain going on that needs to be sneezed out. You know what I mean? I never know. All right, so today is the 6th of December, and I grew up celebrating the 6th of December in Switzerland as St. Nicholas Day. Yes. And it was fun. It was very fun for children. I also have told the story before, well, with over 1,000 videos, no doubt. but I have to say, I thought that was always a very pleasant, mostly pleasant, yeah, experience for me. Basically, of course, the children don't know that, but the parents hire Saint Nicholas, and they look a little like they have a white robe on from head to toe with one of those big red hats. What do they call them in the Catholic Church? Cardinals. They kind of look like a cardinal. Yes, and he has a staff, with the round part to it, and they often are accompanied by one or two. We call them schmutzli, and they are all dressed in black, and they cover their faces with rus and stuff like that. And they carry switches with them. Yeah, from tree branches, switch. And oh dear me. So the parents hire them to come to the house. And ours always came on the 6th of December. I wondered as a child on how does he manage to go to all those households? Man, that had to be exhausting, right? Because it seems like they're going everywhere. All right, so I got older, and instead of being home during the time when they march around, right, I would see, I said, oh, there's tons of them. Okay, but then I also knew that, yeah, they don't just come to your house, they have to be hired to come to your house. And then I would be surprised. And so the St. Nicholas had this big book with him, and he just somehow knew everything that I did all year long. I'm going, how is that possible, right? Yes? Come to find out that the parents slipped them a piece of paper of each child. Yeah, okay. Well, anyway, we all learned a little poem about Saint Nicholas or Christmas, and then you were expected to recite that while you're almost peeing in your pants. You're so scared of the schmutzli, and then you got a bag of goodies with nuts in it and lapchuche. Yeah, that's a beeper. They're called as well, and it's a special kind of bread with maybe a picture of Saint Nicholas on it, and it's kind of a little like gingerbread, yeah, and maybe little chocolates in it, an orange or something like that. So, and of course, because you knew you were gonna get that at the end, or you did your best, and you just, yeah, your courage, all those children out there were brave, still are probably, yeah, to sit there and just, because the schmutzli, and in olden days, they would also carry a bag around with them. I don't think they did that anymore while I was a child. And especially the boys, the bad boys, constantly in trouble doing this or that, not listening to their parents. They would take them, put them in those bags, and take them up into the woods, and then they had to find their own way home. Yeah, they did that. I don't know, did it work? I have no idea. None of us was ever taken like that. Okay. But it was quite an experience to sit there and wait. And I remember one year was it my brother or my sister ended up under the couch, and they would not come out. It was like they were so scared. I said, "Why are you so scared? What did you do?" nobody knows about. Well, anyway, we would end up, all sitting there and doing our thing, and I don't know, it was always a very pleasant experience. For me, most of these things weren't about necessarily the tradition, just wow, that's interesting on how people do things, right? Yes. So interesting. This dressed up all in red, Saint Nicholas, and then those one or two guys look so scary. To me, it was always something to study. Besides, yeah, I was a little scared too, okay? But still, it's just something to study, and I relished these experiences, right? I knew my mom was there, so I knew nothing's going to happen to me, really, when it came down to it. She would never allow that. That is that. So, and it was kind of a tradition in the Catholic Church where you cleanse your sins before a big holiday, right? Yes? And that was kind of before Christmas for children to do so. Because you were told all the good things that you did. Hey, Daniela, okay, let's see what we got here. So you did this, very nice. Yeah. Oh, we got a couple of things here. Not so good. And the schmutzli would go, and you'd sit there and go, whoa, how does he know that? Well, anyway, but so you were cleansed. So for children, it was like the beginning of on how to kind of cleanse yourself, before big holidays like Christmas, and start with a new slate, kind of. Now you get that chance to try again. So I kind of liked it. I didn't. I don't think that's a bad thing. Yeah? And a good little tradition, right? Yes. Good learning experience for children, as long as it doesn't get taken out of context, right? Yes. Okay. All right. So that's what I wanted to share today. And of course, there's a story that goes with it, the real Saint Nicholas, who went around with a donkey. That's the story I was told later, or found later on. And he was kind of a friar, a pastor, or a priest, uh, who went around and on it with a donkey with all kinds of goodies in it for the poorer people, for the children, and he would go and all through before Christmas, and knock on their doors and leave them a little something. Yes, yeah. So that's why the story of Saint Nicholas. Yeah, I don't know where Santa Claus came from, really. Supposedly a Coke commercial in the 1960s, so there be it. I'm just saying. All right, let's get going. The book of Isaiah 31. Against the Egyptian alliance. We're still against. Oh, and then it's against Assyria again. And against the women of Jerusalem. All righty. That's in 32. Don't get to read that today. It's probably a good thing since it's St. Nicholas Day. Okay. Woe to those going down to Egypt for help, who put their trust in horses, who rely on the quantity of chariots and on great strength of cavalrymen, but do not look to the Holy One of Israel or consult Yahweh. Yet he too is wise and can bring disaster, and he will not go back on his word. He will rise against the breed of evildoers and against those who protect wrongdoers. Okay. I think we all know that's not true. That wasn't true then. It's not true now, and it will not be true in the future. Our Heavenly Parent does not interfere like that. All right. Who protect wrongdoers? Okay. The Egyptian is human, not divine. His horses are flesh, not spirit. Yahweh will stretch out his hand. The protector will stumble, the protected will fall, and all will perish together. And again, how hypocritical. This is so hypocritical of Isaiah to say that, because as far as I know, the people of Israel go to the book of Kings or the Chronicles, and we'll know that they have fought against others plenty and thought that the strength of war was better than God's counsel as well. Okay? Against Assyria. Yes, this is what Yahweh has said to me. As a lion or lion cub growls over its prey when scores of shepherds are summoned to drive it off, without being frightened by their shouting or cowed by the noise they make, just so will Yahweh Sabaoth descend to fight for Mount Zion and for its hill. That's interesting. A lion cub. I don't think that it will take much to drive a lion cub off anything, right? Yes, I'm just saying the comparison just doesn't make sense again. But I get it on what it's meant that, once God has his children in his hands and he doesn't want to let them go, well, that's not true either. We have freedom of will. We choose. We choose to stay in the presence of God or not. Right? Yes? Yeah. And just because you do that, say you don't, then that doesn't mean that suddenly your whole world is just going to get destroyed. That's not true either. We know that. Like hovering birds, so will Yahweh Sabaoth protect Jerusalem. By protecting it, he will save it. By supporting it, he will deliver it. Come back to the one whom the Israelites have so deeply betrayed. I don't think you can talk to people like that and expect any kind of good outcome with that. I don't think that works. I don't think it worked then. It doesn't work now. Maybe for some, when you're being threatened, you kind of give in and, okay, well, I guess I'll just, But, well, anyway. For that day each of you will throw away the false gods of silver and the false gods of gold, which your own sinful hands have made. Assyria will fall by the sword, not that of a man, will be devoured by the sword of no human being. He will flee before the sword, and his young warriors will be enslaved. In his terror he will abandon his rock, and his panic-stricken officers desert the standard, declares Yahweh, whose fire is in Zion, whose furnace in Jerusalem. So something came to my mind here again on, I don't understand why Isaiah is saying everything in such a destructive way. As far as I know, or as far as I've read, and we will come across more of that, uh, when the people experienced God's grace of other nations, the people, even the kings, experienced God's grace. They were all on board. They suddenly were all on board. They somehow, through dreams or some things that would happen, they realized, wow, yeah, that is actually really it. And Joseph did it. Especially taught the Egyptians about God. Taught. Didn't force anyone. Didn't threaten them with destruction or this. No, taught. And it seems to me, from what I've read so far, I might not be 100% right, the people that were taught, right, by words and action, in a kind way, in a smart way, bring Joseph up again, that the leadership would respond. Right? Yes, and actually became better advocates for God than the Israelites. Yes. Did it always happen that way? No, but I find that was more often the case. I think that the Israelites somehow, even though their faith is a bit flimsy, or it was flimsy, right? It was so just skin deep. It seems like that's kind of what I'm getting. Not saying it was that way, but that's kind of what they're being described as. And so we're so easily always influenced again by everything else rather than God's guidance. Yes? Yeah. Anyway, so I don't quite understand why Isaiah uh, continuously uses threats, this, that, and how that God will destroy everything if they don't do what, because we already know it doesn't work that way. It didn't work that way at that time either, because continuously we read now through this much of the Old Testament on how the Israelites continuously fall away again from the presence of God. Yes? Yeah. Oh, anyway, which brings me to something else that I just quickly want to mention. Then we're going to finish up. I have all of my grandchildren here by surprise. Oh, I worked on more stars this night because I wanted to make some more for my daughter with my other grandchildren, my oldest daughter, and I had them all done. And my other daughter comes in, she says, "Guess what? Your other grandchildren are going to come and spend the night. So because mom and dad are going out to eat, right? Yes, have a little date night." And I said, "Oh, that's great," because I just finished all the stuff to give her to take home to decorate her home, and she loved it. So yeah, right? Yes, so great. So they're here. So I want to make sure I'm over there pretty soon too. Yes, yeah. They wake up. Usually it's my younger granddaughter that is up first, and often I'm surprised she hasn't come over yet. And she comes and visits. She says, "Grocie, there's nobody up yet over there." I said, "Well, then let's hang out here and do something." Yes, yeah. Anyway, so there it is. Oh, wanted to mention one more thing that I seen, and I don't know if some of these posts in this they're so old, because how old is that, and they get half the truth of, oh my gosh, and I'd go and check out everyone. I just kind of click them out. Why do I even have them on my feed? Yep, I don't follow any of these people or this or that, so I click them out, say, oh, it's not, doesn't match my interests, or other, and then suddenly I see my friends' posts again. This bitch is nice. But there was one where it seems to be now a bit of a common occurrence that the Jews, the Jewish people from Israel, and I guess around the world, I don't know, are judging and persecuting their own when they become Christians. And kind of are doing the same thing Isaiah is doing here. Yes? And for the Jewish people who've decided to become Christians, to them it's no, this is an extension of the Old Testament. I'm going with the next step. Yet they're being persecuted, looked at as traitors, this and that. Why? I don't understand that. Especially coming from a people, again, how hypocritical is that? That has been, and or feels they have been, persecuted and judged, right? Anti-Semitism for so long. Yet they're doing it to their own people again. Supposedly in today's world. How's that right? And these Jewish people who become Christians are being showered with threats, judgment, and persecution from their own people. Oh, I don't know. Sometimes I wonder when I hear things like that. Had the people of Israel really changed that much from the Old Testament? Or are they still dealing with a lot of the same things? Yes? Okay. Just saying. Not, right? I thought that was a very curious story. I go, what? Okay. Anyway. So there it is. I had to mention that just real quick. I hope I didn't offend anyone. That's not that's not what I intend to do. And if the truth hurts people, or if the truth offends people, well, what am I going to do? Start lying? Not going to do that. Some may need to hear that are very good followers of the Old Testament, per se. and then the Jewish faith, and maybe need to bring that up. Say, hey, if the people decide to become Christians, that does not mean that they do not believe in the Old Testament anymore, or that there aren't things to follow in the Old Testament. Yes? Especially since the New Testament, I have no doubt. Well, we'll find out. Yep, is the book in the Bible that is being read the most. And why is that? To the goodness of our brother Jesus, because a lot of what he says has brought to the world here is so much. There's so much goodness and hope in it. Basically, teaching people how to behave properly, rather than just right. Yes, shower us with oh, if you don't do this or don't do that, God is this and God is that. What did Jesus actually do? Huh? Yeah, it doesn't matter if people want to look at him as, okay, the Son of God, the Son of Man, right? A prophet. He was just a prophet, whatever. That doesn't change what we've got in the Old Testament, in the New Testament, right? What was given to us by Jesus in the New Testament. Yes? Just saying. So why? Why stop anyone? And then I can also tell you that born again Christians, if I came across some of them, I'd say, whoa, you need to take a step back. I mean, it's great to be zealous about something that you suddenly, now the light bulb has gone on. But you can't go out there and persecute and judge others because they're not believing like you. It's not okay to do that. Yes? Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, come across some of them too. And again, so just like with St. Nicholas, and I'm sitting there on the couch and waiting for them all to show up, and then they come and I'm looking and I'm going, whoa, that's kind of wild. And yeah, all of it. And interesting. That's the same for me with people like that. I just kind of said, whoa, you're kind of wild and interesting. Why would you do that? You just found Christ. You just found this wonderful belief that you're just born again. And what are some people doing with that? Yes? Very sad. Instead of, well, our Mother of Peace, Holy Mother Han, our beloved true mother, still in detention. It's all a bit hard to believe, but it is what it is. And she speaks of nothing but peace, love, hope, be kind. And she believes and she tells us things will come out, will be just right. Yes? Yeah. Anyway, so there it is. Gotta believe, gotta believe, gotta believe. Yes. That is it. That's all I have to share this morning. May Heavenly Parent bless, protect you, guide you, embrace you with love. Eldridge, my dearest brother in faith, I love you. Let's keep praying. I hope you got that prayer book out. I really do. Father's prayers, I do believe, carry a lot of hope, a lot of weight, and they're very meaningful. There's something about those prayers. Yes? Okay, so, and I will talk to you all another time.